says in the Bible, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me." So, why are we afraid? Why are we afraid at funerals? If God is with us, then we really had nothing to be scared of, nothing to be sad about. Okay.
When I was thinking about Mom most recently, the word that came to mind the most was how much she protected us. That's what mothers do. They protect their young. I can't imagine what it was like to be moved and move your family from Minnesota to Tallahassee and sort of be dropped off, and Dad goes to work and Mom was left to fend for herself in a small town where she didn't know anybody. And somehow she made a life for us. Somehow she protected us. Somehow she raised us through lots of change and lots of challenge and some sadness. I just have a few memories I want to share with you guys. I already told you about a couple of them, but I always felt like Mom had my back. I remember the time in second grade, the teacher ridiculed me in front of everybody because I was acting up, which I was wont to do. And Mom went down, marched down, and basically read them the riot act for treating me the way they did. The teacher never did that again. Same happened in the 5th grade when a teacher was sticking her nose in her business after they got divorced, and Mom did the same thing. Before that, the hell I put her through, the trouble I would get into, and she put up with it. The worst I can remember was when y'all probably remember I practically burned down the empty lot next to our house because of course I had to burn the secret plans that I had. Somehow they put out the fire, but more miraculously, when Dad came home, rightly wanting to just lay into me, I remember sitting in the kitchen table, scared out of my mind, and Mom cut him off at the pass and basically said, "Don't do it." I always felt protected by Mom. I always felt like she could cover for me and keep me from as many of the dangers in the world as she can. But she loved me too, and we had fun. I'll never forget the times we spent together. For some reason I remember the most after my dad and Mom split up. We would sit up Friday night watching the late night movie together. We'd make popcorn and it was just the two of us. We went to Disney World together, just the two of us. I remember coming back from that thinking, this was somebody I'm actually having fun with, just the two of us. And the first thing I said to Mom was, I want to go back. Let's do this again. One time, when I really got in trouble, it was about as bad as I'd done, and sorry to say this in front of everybody, but she caught me one time smoking pot, which is about as embarrassing a thing as a kid can. She brought me downstairs and we talked. I said why I wanted to do it, and she said why she didn't want me to do it. And the upshot of it was she just looked me straight in the eye and she says, "It's illegal and I worry about you." And I stopped. Same thing happened with the motorcycle. I was going to get a motorcycle. She went along with it for a few weeks. And as sincerely as she possibly could on the day she was supposed to co-sign the loan, she said, "I can't do it." And I said, "Mom, you promised. I thought you were on board with this." And she just looked at me again straight in the eye and she said, "I'm sorry, I can't." I said, "You realize that it's not, I'm fine, I'll be a safe driver." She said, "I'm not worried about you. I know you'll be fine. It's the others I worry about." to say in kind of a joking way. It was the kind of thing an 8 or 9-year-old kid says to their mom. Yeah, Josh, you're probably right. I don't think she's left us. And I don't want to ever leave her.
Couple of years, I've, really undergone, I think, almost a seismic change because I've always been a very forward-looking person. And I take my past for granted, and I was always looking towards the next challenge and the next new day and all of that. And the past couple of years, I've, started to look back quite a bit because I took so for granted what I had. And then when I started to lose all the things that, not all of the things, but some of the people who mattered more to me than I ever realized because I always had them. I find myself now going back to those times when everything was new. Everything was so there and so good and so present that it was almost invisible. My memories of Mom, joyous, loving, conflicted, there are so many of them that we'd need a whole ocean, to cover to capture all of them. For some reason in the past 24 hours, all I've been thinking of, and I'll say this to Mom, I'm really sorry that I put you through all those piano recitals. Because I was never that great a pianist, but you schlepped me to all those lessons and you dragooned you and Dad to all those god-awful recitals where I was never the best player in the room. And then that sherbet and ginger ale punch afterward at Mrs. Harold's house. That's kind of symbolic. On the night that Mama left us, in a way, January 3rd, David Lee and I texted each other. I still have it. You texted me a 2-word thing, "You up?" And it was about 10:30 at night, and I texted back, and I said, we were talking about, of course, what to put on our Facebook walls. And what I came up with was something that I don't know if I can ever really make better, and that is a mother's life, no matter how long, is never long enough for the children who love her. Mom, thank you for the life and the love you gave me, and thank you most especially for my sister, my brother Steve, my sister Sheila, my brother Stephen, and my brother David. Rest in peace. And I'll end with a poem that I thought was very speaking to me. It's called "Sleep, Mama, Sleep" by Marilyn Hahn. Sleep, Mama, sleep. It's time to go to sleep. So close your eyes and rest your head. You must be tired now. Sleep, Mama, sleep. It's time to go to sleep. We've kissed your cheek and held your hand. We must let you go now. Sleep, Mama, sleep. It's time to go to sleep. The angels are here and will keep you safe and warm. They must carry you home now. Sleep, Mama, sleep. It's time. Mama, you've gone to sleep now. Sweet, peaceful dreams. We love you.
I struggled with this for a few days, what we were going to do here, put the ashes in the water. But now I find it extremely appropriate that we put Eileen's earthly remains, her earth suit, in the water in front of the place that she loved the most here. And because her soul's glorious with God. And I remember, the things that I remember are the little mundane things always seem to be the fondest in the end. Coming down and fixing her computer or her virus or her issue, or sharing a smoothie. I used to stop at Extreme Juice and pick up 2-for-1 smoothies and bring one in. Then I'd find the smoothie a month later in her freezer, but apparently the disposition of the smoothie wasn't as important as sharing the smoothie. Or the little field trips we made, like to IKEA, wheeling her through that entire huge store, and then sharing those god-awful Swedish meatballs that they make at IKEA. And that was fun. But inevitably, it always turned to a discussion of life and politics with us. And we couldn't have been more on different ends of the spectrum, more with politics than with life. But somehow we always managed to spend hours talking about it and enjoyed each other's company doing it. And she always gave me grace that my opinion was different, even though hers was far different. So one day I look forward to reuniting with Eileen, and we'll have discussions, and I'm sure we'll be on different ends of the spectrum, though I don't think politics will be what we'll be talking about. And she's glorious with God. Yes. Do the rest of them?
Yeah, if you don't mind. I love my son's youthful spirit and perspective. Great heart you have, Josh. And I think you'll come to find that the longer you live with somebody, the tougher it is sometimes to manage your emotions, but you've been a rock. And so I really respect what you said about crying, and there's something kind of poetic about the way Mom kind of set this all in motion, that we're here virtually 6 months to the day that we learned that she was stricken, to do this thing in a way that makes sense to us. And I want to really recognize Pat and John and Nicole, who all would have been really pleased to be here with us, but they're here with us in spirit, as are so many people who love us. And returning a body to water seems so comforting, because it's live and moving, and it's just will give us, I think, a certain peace. I'm so grateful to be a daughter. And a sister. And I really am grateful for parents and family who've been our village in raising us, that have brought us to the point where certainly over the last couple of years we've brought it. We've come together as a unit, and our herd is getting a little thinner. But I don't look for this to ever change. We'll manage to have to reunite like this again, I'm sure, and we'll
still bring it. Mom and Stephen being together symbolically like this just means a lot, and I'm so glad that she has him with her again. I'm just grateful for love of family and for God's grace and making us stronger than we know. Because I don't know how we would have done it otherwise, but we're stronger than we know, and we have a beautiful remaining family. And for Mom's smile that's shining on us now, I really believe that. I feel it today. I'm just really grateful for everybody and grateful to be her daughter.
Pat and John wanted to also have us remember Grammy and Joe today too.
Absolutely.
That they're with us all, like you said, with the ones we've lost.